Mr. Mithal, to you, yeah, please.
She holds a PhD in English literature from Baghdad University. She got her master in English, also in English literature, also from University of Arkansas. She is now a staff member in the Department of English University of Kufa. She previously worked in College of Education, also at Arkansas University. She participated in many local and international conferences. She has many published works in very highly reputational journals.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. My presentation is about the theatrical reading for Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah. The first question I raised by Dr. Hassan, he said we always hear that, who is Hussein? Hussein is the master of martyrs. And I think that the saying of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein, is sufficient answer for this question. So who is Hussein? Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. No? Yeah. Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah. Sure, all of you know what is meant by Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah. And actually here, nothing to be right on this slide. Just to tell you that nothing can be sufficient to describe what is meant by Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah. Already know that Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah, just a revival, the tragedy of Karbala and the great sacrifice of Imam Hussein, and what we get from a tough battle. But when I dig deep in Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah, the technicality, the exact performance, the message, the essential aim of Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah, and compare these things with my theatrical reading, I find that there are some sort of similarity with Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah and certain international theaters. First one, Theater of Brest. Theater of Brest that is invited by the Brazilian theater practitioner Augusto Boal. This figure has techniques the theater as a means of promoting social and political change. And this is one of the major messages in Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah. How such a thing being viewed? In Theater of Brest, the audience became active, and they are not merely as a spectator, rather they are actors. There's a kind of interaction and cooperation between spectator and the actor, to the extent that the audience here, the spectator, they are shown, analyzed, transformed the reality where they are living. And this is what actually also one of the features of Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah. This is the Theater of Brest. And when you look deeply to the picture, this is the real same standing and shouting, Hayhat min al-Dilla, Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah. They raise their hands and shouting as a kind of showing they're oppressed and they are against oppression. Theater of Brest is basically based on the idea of dialogue, interaction between the audience and performer. And this is also well reflected in Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah, because we have a discussion of the ideas, the principles of Al-Hussein revolution, all these things reflected in Theater of Brest. But at the same time, we can describe Al-Majalis Al-Husayniyah with the foreign theater, which is one of the branches of Theater of Brest, and also witness engagement of spectator in the performance. And we find the term of spectator here again. and we find the intention of the change of revolution. But what's really the major thing associated with the foreign theater, that it is associated with the learning environment. I mean, it is the space to teach people. And Majalis al-Husseiniya now really associated with the learning environment. Majalis al-Husseiniya has major aim to teach people, whether teach them the principles of religion or the great lessons from the revolution of Hussein, or teach them the good conducts and behavior. Foreign theater, besides the sense of aggression, also try to explore solutions to real life dilemma and find discussion and debate. And now, Majalis al-Husseiniya also became just like a stage to discuss major social problems and find discussion and debate. At the same time, we can describe Majalis al-Husseiniya as community theater. Theater or the performance that is done for relation particular communities. And I think you know that Majalis al-Husseiniya, a performance done for the Shia in the same place, the place that gives them the sense of community, equality, and as if they are one. Regardless the variation in the social or educational or even the prestigious background, also together in one level and in one situation. Community theater really contribute to the social capital, and we try to find that as a fine units between audience and members and regarded as a tool for social development. All what has been done in the community theater can be performed in any place. It's not necessary to have a stage or a specially closed room. No, can be performed in schools, in the prison, outside, the street. Any place that can be the space to achieve community and reflect the message of community theater. And now we can have Majalis Husseiniya wherever you like, outside in the street. Even now in the prison they hold the Majalis Husseiniya, in schools. And I think now our gathering here, this is one type of Majalis Husseiniya. Community theater has done certain production, and you find that the group who done this, you find them as individual, not merely as individual, but as a joint member, and look to them as a whole. And this is part of achieving unity, sociality among those who live together. At the same time, we can describe Majalis Husseiniya and find certain kind of similarity with the invisible theater. Invisible theater is theatrical performance that shows you there is no stage, there is no performance, as if something done by nature, without organization, as if something real, and it is unstage events. And I think you witness this when you go to Al-Mawakib and Al-Mawakib Street. I know this is a revival of the tragedy of Imam Hussein and all what has been done for the sake of Imam Hussein, but there is no stage. And you can hear someone that he revival something that showed you the story from Imam Hussein, his sacrifice, and tell you this and this and this, and such a performance or such activity is done outside with no stage. So it's called invisible theater. And again, the purpose is to show you the oppression of life with the audience, again, to be as a spect actors. But I think that the recent description of Al-Majalis al-Husseiniya to be is a great lecture hall. And this is our intention, to turn Majlis al-Husseini to be a lecture hall, to teach people. It is not merely a place to shedding tears and cries, or just to say Hussein, Hussein, Hussein. No, we need to know more about the revolution of Hussein, the message of Karbala, and the great tragedy of At-Taf. As a conclusion, so the goals of Al-Majalis al-Husseiniya First, give your ideas about the principles of Islamic religion and the mission of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Teach people the great lesson of courage, sacrifice, patience, and mortality. Develop community spirit. Awaken people awareness towards the danger of threat in their Islamic world. And at the same time promote social and political change, analyze and transform reality with the common people are living. Diagnose major social problems. Reactivate people understanding to open-ended case of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him. So please, I'm asking you that. We always say هيهات من الذلة, and الإمام حسين خرج للإصلاح في الأمة. نجعل شعارنا هيهات من الذلة والإصلاح بهذه الأمة. Such a things really being done and achieved if really we pay attention to the Majalis al-Husayna and their own aims. Again and again, turn and Majalis al-Husayniyya to be a lecture hall and achieve their own significance to be a tool of the radical change in social and political life. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Mithal. Thank you for your interesting presentation. And now, our esteemed colleagues, once again, I'm delighted to invite you to take part in the discussion. So if you have any comment or would like to ask the researcher, yeah, please, concerning the Majalis al-Husayniyya. Yeah.
Especially for those who are interested in literature.
Yeah, especially those who are interested in literature.
Mr. Majid, please.
Yeah, please, Mr. Majid.
Thank you very much indeed for this informative presentation, Theatre of the Oppressed. Well, we can all understand the fact that drama is, generally speaking, has separated from religion. It's the church because of which we have drama.
That's true.
And you are actually mentioning things related to how we are able or successful to use Majalis al-Husayniyya so that drama would teach us the lessons that you have talked about. Now, I think that there is something missing here which is related to the audience themselves, because again, all the majalis that we attend, they do shed light on mainly all the topics that you have mentioned in your recommendation and the conclusion. However, there is something missing related to the audience themselves. So basically, in your perspective, how do you think that the audience should react or at least get engaged with the messages that are being actually delivered on the stage, metaphorically speaking?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Malik. First of all, keep in your mind when I say spectator or audience, supposed to be dumb and mute and adult. But in al-Majalis al-Husayniyya, nowadays, the Majlis al-Husayni itself is organized for the sake of audience. And the audience now, they can ask the speaker or the performer to change the style of performance. Or they ask him to comment on this issue and to tell them or discuss certain moral aspect in their life. While we have many, they are uncountable Majalis Husayniyya, but till this moment there are many people, they are ignorant concerning moral subjects, or religious issues, or even about the essential problem in their life. If we have an active audience and spectator who can interfere within the performance, this is really turn the Majalis al-Husayniyya to something more powerful. And me, myself, I attend certain Majalis al-Husayniyya for women, but I witnessed this. Certain ladies asked her, please, Mullah, tell us about the story of this Imam. Please, Mullah, narrate to us Hadith al-Kisa. Please, Mullah, perform to us something about Abdullah Radi'a. They have performance, believe me. Certain Majalis al-Husayniyya have skits, short performance. Even sometimes Mullah recognize that ladies, they are became passive and cool. She tried to change the selected, let's just say selected speech or selected that things that's supposed to be narrated or to be performed. You know why? Because the success of the Majalis al-Husayniyya not merely depend on the performer, the speaker, also needs the cooperation and the of the audience themselves. Again and again, هيهات من الذلة. It is not merely said for the sake for people to shed majalis Husayniyah, just to shed tears and to cries or to spread food for the sake of Imam. No. This big message, it is done if we really give to al-majalis al-Husayniyah its powerful significance in life. By these types of theater, I advocate you, I invite you to change the role and the message of al-majalis al-Husayniyah for something significant for the sake of the radical change in our social and political life. Yes.
Thank you, Doctor. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Just commenting on, you said that the audience in al-majalis al-Husayniyah, they can ask, they can, for example, say their opinion about something, they'll ask them or the one who starts thing. Okay, so this is in theater we call it breaking the fourth wall between the actors and the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, so but at the same time you said that al-majalis al-Husayniyah can be represented in theater of the oppressed or the forum theater or community theater. But with its own features. I mean, still, we can feel this is al-Husayni theater rather than it is much of theater of the oppressed or the community theater. Because this is only one feature which is the breaking the fourth wall. This is only one feature that, just signifies the al-Husayni theater than the other theater. So, what I want to say is that al-majalis al-Husayniyah can be best put in a theory, just to be, to be interpreted as al-Husayni theater more than the other East Western theaters like community or others.
Thank you very much, Ms. Really, it's a great and an excellent note to say al-Husayni theater. Let me tell you something that earlier I have an attempt to analyze the tragedy of Al-Taf in certain theatrical study. Me myself attended this التشابير ورحت من 8 الصبح ل 12. They narrate everything about what happened in Karbala. We have characters and really shouting and audience gathering around them. Exactly what happened in Globe Theatre, in classical theatre. But you know, some of them say to me, what is the authentic text that you depend on? And maybe you will have an attack from certain Shiite people. Believe me, I'm trying to show something about al-Hussein theater and to present something for those who are in Western people. As Dr. Hassan said, they ask, who is Hussein? But I need much courage in order not to be criticized or diagnosed or maybe attacked by those people who are away from academic sense. So really, I hope and I'll do my best. Believe me, I'll do my best to present something about Al-Hussein theater. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I may have a comment if you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, concerning your topic and your suggestion, Mrs. First Mr. Majid and then Mrs. Hind, I think that to establish such a Hussein theater in such a, I think we need to find another audience, actually, a very specific audience who believe in many things, not like our audience that we see in al-Majalis al-Hussein. So to establish this al-Hussein theater, we should work with the audience also at the same time. For example, they should be, they will attend such theater with an open mind, open heart, and the willingness to learn. And also they will provide this theater, they believe that provide them with insights into religion, and hopefully it will also inspire them to explore, discover, and learn more about themselves and their belief system. So we need many steps to be followed, actually. And it is not an easy task, but we can do it at least, okay, to begin step by step. But as I told you, it is something great if we can achieve.
So believe me, I have it as a real project.
Yeah.
And from this moment, I'll do my best to achieve this.
This is my point of view. Yeah, please, Doctor.
I have to add something here
Yeah.
about the theoretical, the Husseini theater. in the institution of the Husseini Shrine in Karbala, it has already been started there.
Yeah.
I mean the Husseini Theatre. So it's not a new idea actually, but we can just open up a branch for that theatre in the Husseini Shrine, which is in English.
Yes.
And this is our contribution here. And I agree with you that we need a special audience
Yes.
for such a
Yeah,
thing.
that's great, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mithal. Thanks a lot.